To I Wanna Die in New Orleans by uicideBoy. Before we jump into this album, I really quickly just want to say thank you to everyone who watched my last video on the life of Pablo. Hopefully that video will get back up, but I really can't say for sure for now. So until then, let's just enjoy some more dope music and dive further into this journey of actually trying to listen to whole albums. This one is by uicideBoy, and I've only really heard like a small handful of their songs, and I don't think I've heard a single one off of this album. But a guy on Reddit said it was their best one, so yeah, let's get started. First song is called King Tulip.
They changed so much, you know what I'm saying?
Changed, right? Also, I will be pausing more this time.
Two motherfuckers
Is he laughing or is he crying?
from New Orleans. How did they change? How did they change music?
Who changed me? Or are they maybe from New Orleans? Or... Okay. That's a cool way to start an album. Just straight off the bat, like it's kind of framing the entire thing with this question: how did they change music? Straight into this like very uicideBoy-esque sounding, almost like, what's the word for it? Like melancholic sounding beat. Love the static. Seriously, their fucking production on their bass is always so good. Just listen to how much this feels like it just slaps you in the face. Actually, let's have a look. Listen to that again. It almost sounds like there's like it almost sounds like there's this like mix of an actual bass drum from like a drum kit with like, I don't know, some metal that's been like clanged. Like if you hear that just ever so slightly in the background, it adds texture to the sound. I spoke over it, sorry. You hear that? I like his flow. And that's very uicideBoy. The jumping up and down the register while rapping. Oh, there's actual singing. What? I think that's the first time I've heard that. Damn. This is very melancholic in general. Oh. Wow. And they do that thing, just before we get started again here, right? They do that thing that pro musicians do, which is that you figure out a melody or a rhythm, like a main hook, like the main the motif of a song, right? So in this case, it's this melody in the background. And as I've spoken about several times, that they do, that Kanye does, that pretty much anyone who knows how to do music does, is that like they will add and remove elements to their songs to give space to other elements. So here we have drum, bass, piano stuff, voice. And now it's just static, the piano and the voice, and then remove the voice, and you're just in this like realm of chill. But we're starting to build back up. But notice that there's still, there it is. There's a low end. But I was gonna point out, notice that there's like no low end here. Just at the hi-hat. That's cool. Hell yeah. King Tulip. It's weird. Their production is like so good. It's also just... Sorry, buddy. Your music really is depressing, but in a beautiful, beautiful way. Okay. We're doing commercials?
Now, streets blocked off as New
There
Orleans
are.
police continue to search for the people accused of firing shots at officers. WDSU reporter Natalie He is live in the 7th Ward. She joins us now live with the latest developments on this. Natalie.
Hey there, Sean. What started as a traffic stop this morning or earlier this afternoon has escalated into a large-scale investigation with multiple agencies involved on the ground and in the air. Right now, 2 people are in custody, and police say they are searching for a possible third suspect.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. King Tulip, Bring Out Your Dead connects. I love that shit. What a way to start an album. Damn. That was a solid, like, A+. I've really enjoyed that. Alright. Okay, that... What? No, that's Johnson. Jaunting. That sounds like... What is that? What is that sound effect? You hear it just... Okay, so first of all, the beginning of this song is super like jaunted, jaunting. I don't really know which one of those ways to say the word is the correct one, but it's super like weird and jumpy, and then you have this. I don't even know what it is. It sounds like a printer that's stuck in the background. I love the way they use sound effects, man. We have like, when they say something about the phone, we have a slight ring. Okay. Grand Theft Auto. Jesus. I really enjoy this. It's very aggressive, right? It's more aggressive than other songs I've heard with him. I love it. I've said it before, but their bass in particular is just... What was that? It's so tight. Alright, so just before we go in there, let's just see what it is we've got here. We've got what I described as like a printer-esque sound in the middle of it that's just so tight, like for this entire thing. That's such a weird choice. Like, I wonder who had the idea of like, alright, this song isn't really full. Like, there's like a little bit missing to the picture. What can we add to it? And someone just goes, let's like add the rattling sound of a printer or whatever it is, right? It's kind of like it's filling out the space, and you'd think that it would be confusing or frustrating to listen to, but it actually isn't. It works really well. We got the bass, obviously the rap. Is this a particular style of rap, by the way? Like, I really enjoy this style of rapping, but I don't know what it's called. Okay. 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 What? It's like, fuck. Why do I like that so much? I think the reason that and I think many others were moving on to nicotine patches, but before then, I think one of the reasons that I and so many others like stuff like that is because it is so aggressive, it is so over the top, it is so like weirdly human, but it's also clearly intentional, right? Like it's an intentional choice that someone's made and someone's thought about it and it works. Bring Out Your Dead, for me, honestly, man, that's like a low S. That's like an S minus. What the fuck? That was good. Nicotine Patches. Let's go. I'm here for it. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna add Bring Out Your Dead to my personal playlist. Okay, hold up. We have a little bit of static. Wonderfully nice bass. Rounded melody of lead, almost sounds like chimes. Almost sounds like wind chimes. Much more singy vocals. This is much more laid back, I guess? Man, it sounds like he can really sing. Like, one day I will forget their name. Like, that sounds like he can actually really sing. Like, if you just peel away all the effects, it sounds like there's actually a good voice in there, which I know maybe sounds a little condescending. Sorry, I didn't mean for it to come off that way, but I also do realize what I'm saying, you know. But like, it's just so much singing that I've heard in newer hip hop. I guess specifically with Kanye, actually. It just doesn't sound like the rappers are actually able to sing, and they just like kind of make it passable by adding effects. So I love it when it sounds like someone's able to sing. That's also in the Life of Pablo reaction. There were several songs with actual vocalists on it, right? Same thing with Travis Scott. Yeah, when I was 27. Man. Does anyone... Are any of you able to like eloquently explain to me like just why this sounds so tight? It's like it's this really weird mixture of like super dark, depressing themes, very aggressive vocals with a lot of dynamic in them, right? We go from like somewhat high-pitched and singy to this stuff all of a sudden. And I enjoy all of it, right? But specifically this like melancholic feeling that I get from listening to a soundscape that for all intents and purposes isn't super aggressive, currently at least, but still makes me feel like even if I wasn't listening to the lyrics and I wasn't listening to like a song with vocals on it, this still sounds melancholic and like depressing. It's really good. High quality stuff, man. What's that? Sorry, I'm gonna have to go up a little bit back. I'm hoping you come. Is that a baby? I think that's a kid who's like voice they've edited. This is enjoyable. I mean, super depressing. Damn, it's also just so weird because it is so dissonant and it shouldn't sound nice, but it does, right? I think it's also just because I think it's also just because the hook from this song, like, I'll sing it when it comes, because it's gonna come one more time, I think. Or maybe not. Damn. I think it's also just that, like, one of the things that makes this music so endearing to me, at least, is that, like, if you go into the chorus, Yeah, here. One day I'll forget their name. It's like a very simple melody. It's not that I'm not a singer, and I mean my voice is also shot from partying this weekend. But I can still sing it somewhat, right? There's an element of like camaraderie just in the way it's written almost, because it feels like it's written to be sung by people, not by musicians, if that makes any sense. And I think that's part of what makes me enjoy this so much. Like I'm almost thinking of like, if you've watched Breaking Bad, there's a scene very early on, I think in the first episode actually, where Walter White, after being told that he has cancer, is sitting by a pool and he's just flicking matches that he's turning on into the pool, right? That's the imagery I'm kind of getting when I'm listening to this stuff. But instead of it being one person who's doing it in solitude, you're with a little group of people who actually get you and who are actually with you and who like have lived through your traumas and your experiences with you. And you're singing, one day you'll forget their names, or whatever the hook was. That's the feeling it gives me. That's beautiful. Let's go back to approximately where we left off. Gorgeous. Very much up my alley in the style of music.
Of people arrested, several ounces of a deadly drug.
I think it might be a concept album, because we're moving to and from this news broadcast. Nicotine patches, solid A+. Alright, 10,000 degrees. There's so much static there as well. Ooh, and a big piano. And what sounds like a plucked bass. Did you hear that? Left ear. Just ring from a phone. Ooh, that was nice. That was good. The descending. The descent there. It's also kind of cool that like it's also, I mean, I don't assume that it's their style, like they invented it, but I really like just the way that they rap and their flow and their usage of their voices as an instrument. Damn. That was tight. Okay, so I've touched upon this earlier when I've talked about Suicide Boys, but I feel like their stuff should not work. Like for me, it should annoy me and it should make me not want to listen to it, because let's be real, their beats are pretty repetitive. They are doing the same thing over and over and over again in the songs. We hear the motif, or in this case, that descending line of the bass, right? Over and over and over again. It's been like a minute and a half, but it doesn't get tiring. And why is that? I think at least a large part of it is because A, their voices are so dynamic, so the way that they just move around in the track gives us the feeling that it's more like, as a product, it's more dynamic than it is. And B, because I think they know that their stuff is somewhat repetitive in its sound, so they keep it short, so we don't get tired of it, which is like the antithesis of what I usually like in music. I usually like songs that go on for like 12 minutes if they keep moving, and if they keep moving in a way that makes sense. But this is also really cool. It's like the opposite end of the spectrum, but I like it a lot.
got a blade and a knife, made like rice for the young Christ, never even died. My brother just forsaken die. I'm still suicidal until I die. It's a knife or a knife. Speaking
I'm so suicidal until I die. Jesus.
won't even let me rest while I'm sleeping. It's getting harder to watch from the bleachers. The father of evil, like an evil ruby, and I still don't know people. Xanax, close to lethal, cigarette breathing, junkie used to needles.
That was a fun effect. Listen here.
Busy season, won't even let me rest while I'm sleeping. It's getting harder to watch from the bleachers.
point it out.
The father of evil, like an evil ruby, and I still don't know people.
There.
Close to lethal,
That-
cigarette breathing, junkie used to needles. So I grew up.
I think that's also one of the things that they do so well. Is just like the layers are just so good. And then we have the bass again. We've had it all this time, but it's coming back in. But it really is like framed, right? The way they frame their songs in these licks and these riffs are cool. Yeah, this was good, but I didn't feel like this one was as good as the other ones. So, unless something really magical happens in the last 14 seconds. Okay, Link. Alright. Play that ocarina. B? Yeah. 120, 2 days. Let's go. I do really like how much they just build into each other, though. That's like... To me, that feels like a little bit more like a pro move. There's that sound. It is kind of crazy, though. That sounds like a clock, almost. Like, you know what I mean? It doesn't actually sound like a clock, but it sounds like the soundtrack to a clock. Might also just because the title is time related that I'm like getting primed to think that, but still. But again, do you see what I mean, man? Listen to this. Like, that is not entirely on pitch, right? Like that feels a little bit like off kilter, and yet it's so endearing to listen to. I think that is because this music is meant to be sung and shared by other people. It's so good, man. I really like Suicide Boys. They're really just up my alley. Like you. Pretty. It's just, yeah. It's just good. Okay. No. Enjoyable. Very sad. I want to give them a hug. But is that a whip? Wait. Hold up. That sounds like a whip, right? When it says weapon. I would like to see a video of them performing some of these songs live, though. I just want to know, like, this amount of, like, grit. Not grit, but, like, you know? Can you do that live? It sounds so mopey, but understandably so, you know. They've clearly connected to a lot of, like, very human, like, genuine feelings, right? That's how I feel about it, at least. Yeah. That's valid. What? I was just about to say, this is getting a little boring. It can do something. I do still think that, like, it is getting a little boring. I'm sorry for not really pausing or saying too much in this one. It's just, there wasn't really all that much to comment on, I think. So, yeah. 122 days. Not bad, but also not fantastic. B? Alright, so it's like a little bit of a commercial break. That's fun. I like that. Hey, sorry about the cut here. I was starting to feel a little ill while recording in the last session, so I decided to just stop it after 122 days and continue when I felt better. So this is a different day, but I've been listening to I Wanna Die in New Orleans up until Phantom Menace, so we'll just continue right where we left off with Phantom Menace. Wearing some merch as well for a Danish metal band called Redwood Hill. Oh. Okay. So, sorry, already just before we jump into the actual rapping, something that I've noticed that I've mentioned a few times, I think already in this video, is that uicideBoy really has this, like, they have a thing for static, clearly, but also just the way they have, like, everything sounds so metallic in the production. It's cool. It's very, like, them. Okay. I'm down for that.
No. The person you're trying to reach is unavailable, like. Remember the days when me and Slick at the doctor were late. Sleep on the floor, cause the bad niggas house, hoodie devils at the pillow when you rest in the couch. Ask for no amount till it's time to really count.
That feels like pretty good rapping.
Please don't fucking call
or at least more like
no. The person you're trying to reach is unavailable, like. Remember the days when me and Slick at the doctor were late. Sleep on the floor, cause the bad niggas house, hoodie devils at the pillow when you rest in the couch. Ask for no amount till it's time to really count. Whatever the fuck you say you hate is what the fuck I'm really about. Really doing drugs and like you do it for the clout.
Okay.
Really got a problem like I'm usually blacking out. All my friends are like cases and this gets gonna power. Bring me back to the pizza kitchen, now clock in and out.
Alright, so first of all, that metallic sound of the production that I talked about previously, like earlier, is still there. If you can hear it, if you just zone in on the back of the backing part of the beat, we still have static, we have like clanky, like really like muted sound. And then we have this bass sound that, for lack of a better word, feels like it's just punching you, right? Like, just listen to the way this bass moves.
All my friends are at cases and this gets gonna power. Bring me back to the pizza kitchen, now clock in and out.
Like, it really, it feels like it's jabbing.
Tripping still I'm out. Fuck the rap industry, I'm down for the motherfucking count. All you fucking clowns, I can really do without. I'll be back, I really doubt. Southside maniac with the 9 loaded. Northside shorty, aka I'm loaded.
What?
Made a couple million, bro, fucking
I'm confused.
Fuck a couple men. Burn it up like I'm the Joker in Gotham City.
Okay.
For the days we used to hit up on his mouth. TA goes to Smurf,
Okay, so the bass here has gone from punching you, as I said earlier, just being sustained. There's a little bit of like, no, there's no movement in it. There's a bass drum, there, a kick drum. That's making it feel like it's moving. But that's just a sustained tone. No, that's called pedal tone.
Now I'm surrounded by folks I never met. See, the bigger you get, equals nothing.
I'm not sure that I vibe with this one as much. I mean, it's a vibe, but I don't. It's a little much.
For their cold-blooded makeup skin. So I called Ruby. He said we got the blade.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, I got
it's a little much.
Loaded in the AK, in the AK.
All right. Are we gonna get more back to that news? Okay. Okay. Yeah, Phantom Menace, I mean, there are elements in this that I find cool. The way that they just produce in general, I think is cool. But having listened to 6 songs in a row now, it's starting to get a little tiring to listen to. It's kind of a similar thing that sometimes happens in some metal albums, because I really like bombastic music that goes everywhere, but it also has to be like tempered with a little bit of restraint, because otherwise it can get like tiresome and like almost dizzying to listen to. Like a good example of this from an album that I adore is City of Evil by Avenged Sevenfold. Great album, fantastic artists. However, that particular album, it's just like 15% too much stuff in it, you know? And I fear that we might be running into a similar thing here. Not because this is anywhere near as complex in the production, I don't think it is, but because it's just so balls to the wall all the time so far. Alright, Crève du Vieux.
From depression to profession, it happened so fast. It's a raps last night, now I back to no wax. Always gotta get fucked up, I get last one day without fucking in the bucket. I consume whatever feels better when they better go and get stuff. I bet you my cats are climbing and I see the cause it's going through my skull. Hey, fuck it to the CBS with VVS's dripping on my chest.
Oh, that's nasty. Okay, so on the note I just made, that these songs tend to get a little much. Not the songs, but the albums. This is a nice change of pace. And I can't even tell you what it is. It's just like they've like taken Phantom Menace and turned it down slightly. Ooh, listen to that. Pay attention to the like almost ghostly sound of like a breath that's moving between your ears here. That's cool. The thing is actually just a synth. That's like a cute emblem. Alright.
Little set, jump in this bitch. Tell me who we got problems. Eat my bitch, suck a dick like shit, Paul grabbers.
That was me getting a Facebook message. Apologies about that. I'll upload a messenger down after this. Ooh. That's cool. Like using the breath as a drum? Oh no, wait, that is a drum. I actually don't know if that's a snare or a breath, because it could just as well be like a like sound sampled in, and then you can do all types of crazy shit to that to make it like into an instrument. I think it might actually be a snare. Maybe a snare roll. For the sake of suicide. You see anybody riding with me in the Chevy? I ain't think so. Stay so low. Yeah. Stay no low. Let's go damn low key. I'm all alone. I also. So the thing that makes this for me, I'll talk more about it. It's gonna finish in like 15 seconds. I also forgot to rate Phantom Menace. I'll get to that. Sorry about that. But the things that makes this a better song for this part of the album for me than Phantom Menace is the fact that it's so like, it's not restrained, don't get me wrong, but it's a little bit more simple, I think, right? Because we were kind of at a point in the album where we've listened to 7 songs now. They're all fairly bombastic. They're obviously like degrees to that, right? But they're fairly bombastic, let's be real. And Crève du Vieux does this thing where it takes some of the things in Phantom Menace, like the bass I was talking about, and how that in Phantom Menace was punching you in the face. Here it's more like a foundation. It's like a carpet, right? That everything else is stood upon, because it's just sustained notes for so much of the time. And that runs the risk of getting boring. But again, because the music is so short, like that was 1 minute and 44 seconds, it doesn't really happen. Therefore, or ergo, I will probably rate Crève du Vieux as like a solid A, whereas Phantom Menace is like a... Isolated as a song is probably like a B, but because of the way it's placed in the album, and this is an album listening experience much more than anything, I'm gonna have to give that like, I don't know, a C, maybe? C minus, maybe even? Alright. Wartime all the time! Okay. That does not sound healthy for your throat. What was that? There's a lot of stuff happening there. Alright, so. Listen to it again. So we have the type of sound. That's not actually what they're doing, but I can't do that noise. So they have that like really guttural, like gritty noise, layered in like a few layers with the both voices. Then in the back they have "Are you down, motherfuckers?" or "Are you dying, motherfuckers?" or whatever they're saying, yelled, but it sounds like it's been yelled a little away from the microphone. So like more of the voice is getting, it's almost like it's becoming like a broader sound. And then you've added like effects on top of that, mixed with a gun and what sounds like the flashlight on a bomb or something. Okay? I forgot to close on Messenger. Shit. Okay. That's pretty cool. Ooh. Ooh. What was that? Listen to this. You heard that a high-pitched build? Like a jet engine. What? The piano. What's that? That's cool. Okay. And it's still there. I mean, maybe the build again and then. Whoa. Alright, so I'll just pause it here before we go into what I'm assuming is some sort of chorus, or maybe we just did the chorus. I'm not entirely sure. This is cool. This sticks out a little bit from everything else, I think, again, not because it does anything differently, but just because it does it in a slightly different manner, right? Alright. I'll close down the fucking Messenger app. I don't know why I have it open. I must have forgotten to turn it off. There we go. Anyway, as I was saying, I think this song is like cool and stands out a little bit, not because it's doing anything differently. It's still the same formula, which I will say it is getting a little formulaic at this point, but because the effects that they use here and the instrumentation is just slightly different. I love the piano specifically in this, and I think it adds tension, both in the way that it adds some more melody to it, but also just because it sounds like the way it's been played, it's almost like a ballerina, or like maybe not a ballerina, but like a dancer, right? A dancer on top of the piano, which is cool. Like, just listen to the bounce. Still in the back. It also doesn't hurt that. I'll show you. It doesn't hurt that the piano, what the piano is playing. I don't actually know if this is what it's playing, but it sounds like that they're playing something relatively close to each other. So in music, real quick here, right? There are like 12 notes in the Western scale, going from C to C, right? That is an octave. That's 12 different notes. And certain intervals, meaning like the distance between certain notes, sounds more like unpleasant, for lack of a better word, right? So for instance, if you know the Jaws theme, da 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 da, that's this. It's called a minor second, right? I don't think what they were playing there was a minor second, but it was something that sounded like it was being played fairly close to each other on the piano, which is kind of cool. Also, the opposite of the Jaws theme, which is like do doom do doom, is Für Elise, do 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 do, which is cool. All right. hit me. Well, don't. But something in his voice has changed here. We have to build again. Here. So a lot of the music, I'm sorry for just pausing at random times. I would like to pause before like choruses. The problem is I don't fucking know where the choruses are. But something that I feel like happened here is it feels like his voice changed. Like in this part. I can't really put my finger on what has changed, but it almost feels like there's more desperation, which sounds like fitting to what seems to be happening. Also maybe that scream. Have another build-up. Let's go. And then they're doing that dissonant sound again with the voices. It almost sounds like they're doing like they're doing it almost off pitch intentionally, right? Cool. They really rap like a machine gun as well, right? That's actual singing. Daily. That's cool. It. I don't know if this makes sense to y'all, but the way this guy raps, specifically here, it sounds like for every like 1, 2, 3, 4, for every beat, he's doing like triplets almost. So like when you're playing, my frame of reference is guitar, right? But when you're playing guitar and you can do rhythms with your right hand, right? And one of them that you do in metal a lot is triplets, which is like... So for every note, you hit 3 strokes rather than 1 or 2. I feel like that's what he's doing here, and that's what's giving it that machine pistol type. Daily! That's nice. That was cool. Wartime all the time was great. Solid A+. Alright, Coma. Let's go. Oh. I got a good feeling about this one. Oh. Wow. Okay. Let's talk about this growth. The build here is great. So we have like what sounds like some horns almost, like the sound in the background here. That's building together with the melody. That is building on the backdrop of his like mumble rap. And just listen to like how the spectrum of sound is just spreading. And then it overtakes you like a hood. That shit's so fucking cool. And then right down the middle is like the drum and bass combination. Fuck yeah. What? Just trying to process this, man. Again, there's so much stuff. Okay, so we have this shrilling yell. mixed with the melody in the beginning, and it sounds like there's almost also added like a human voice on top of it, going like, or whatever it is the melody is. And then we have the drums and bass, obviously. Yeah, can you hear that? I think that's a human voice on top of it. And then you just remove all of that. Go back into this. Fuck. That's good. That's genuinely good. And we're building back into this. Okay. I love the movement there, man. That's cool. I think something in my eyes. There's just, man. There's just a lot of stuff going on in this. I don't even really know how to process this.
A water main broke, leaving New Orleans without drinking water. And the flooding here is getting worse after waters from Lake Pontchartrain broke through a levee.
Okay, so... God, where do I even begin with that? That was great. Rating-wise, I think that's gonna be... I think maybe... I don't remember if I gave any of the other ones an S- before, but if I haven't, this is gonna be my first S- of this album. There was so much stuff I really liked about that, particularly the inclusion and overlaying of human voices on top of instruments. I always think that's really cool. And like the doo-doo almost reminded me a little bit of what's it called? Playing God by Polyphia. They have like a whistler, like a person like whistling in that song, and it almost has like that same flair to it. That was really sick, man. Cool. Long gone, save me from this hell. I can walk with you in hell, if you wanna. There's like water sound effects on this, surely. Like, I don't think I've ever heard anything sound more like the experience of swimming underwater in the ocean, looking up and seeing like the sunlight's being reflected through the surface of the water more than that. There is no way they haven't used any sort of like ocean sound sample for that. That was cool.
I looked up instead at the table with empty chairs. I ain't able to move. I'm scared this is fatal. Ain't prepared for my betrayals, consequences, broken promise, and I get it. I'm a failure. I'm a fuck up, yet I'm unapologetic.
Before we get into that, listen to the clap.
I'm a failure. I'm a fuck up, yet I'm unapologetic.
That was cool, but it's almost like, again, it's like they've taken the sharp sound of a clap and they've like rounded it off. That's an effect. That's something that you can like pretty easily do in most DAWs, digital audio workstations. Just like create the sounds you want. That's how people can like take the sound of an like someone hitting an apple and turn a song into that. I think it's called Candleburn. I don't remember the artist, but Candleburn is a song where the entire song is literally written on an apple. It's really cool. All right. Did you say Rust or Rest in Peace? Because Rust in Peace is a Megadeth album. I think it says Rust. I think... So something that I've been thinking about a lot recently, and that this song really brings up for me as well, is that like I think one of the reasons that I find hip hop really intriguing is because it's music that I don't intuitively get, right? because most hip hop and rap, at least, comes from like an experience that I haven't had and that I don't understand. Because I mean, to be blunt, I'm a white guy who's grown up in Scandinavia, right, and in a like fairly well-off like middle-class family. A lot of the hip hop that I listen to and I've listened to on this channel comes from black artists who have different lived experiences than me, and that obviously births new sounds that you don't necessarily get if you haven't been in that environment. And I think it's really cool to be introduced to that and to listen to it. And the reason that I talk about that now is because I think Suicide Boys, on the other hand, I think one of the reasons that I like it as much as I do is because it's closer to a sound that I intuitively get, also just as a metalhead, right? Like, I really like functionally everything metal, with the exception of black metal. I mean, I say that wearing black metal merch, but that's a different topic for a different video. The point is that I think musically, this is much closer to something that I intuitively get, which is why it's easier for me to get really invested in it. But it's also cool because it's like closer to something that I get without actually being that thing, right? It's almost like the uncanny valley of music. I don't know if that makes sense. I hope it makes sense. But it does in my head. Ambulance. Cool.
I've been long gone, the furthest soul in my eyes, and you see, no, broken down in my legs over my own blood. Woke up on the worst side of the bed, and
I think this is one of the guys, but I haven't heard that.
I can only speak about the shit I don't think about. Don't worry about my.
What is that? Is that a sweet boy?
Speak about the shit I don't think about. Don't worry.
That's a dog toy for sure, right?
My mama in a level, almost no longer living. Still not right, I'm still wrong. Got my will done, I'm long gone.
What just happened? It's also an easy chorus to remember. This has the same energy as, it also has that, like, sing-along energy, right? I think it was Nicotine Patches that said had that as well. Be rest in peace. Solid A. I really enjoyed that. Meet Mr. Nice Guy. All caps. Is it gonna be no more Mr. Nice Guy? That's not no more Mr. Nice Guy. Okay. Repetiating. Okay. That was cool. Just before it, listen to that. Side! Like that vibrato there was cool. I was just about to criticize this song for just not doing anything that I haven't heard them do before. And they've done that before, but just not that good. That's cool. I will say, as like, I feel like they should go to therapy as well. They're very dark. But yeah. Okay. I will say, while it is cool that they're doing something somewhat new with the very, like, just on borderline harmonized singing earlier, right? I'm getting really tired of hearing that hi-hat. I'd like to hear something else soon. I hope they do something else with that, because it's getting a little samey. I don't know what that is, but it's cool. The clap thing. You know, the I'll pause and show you that. I don't know what it is, but it's cool. I mean, that is. No, that's not harmonics. It's just octaves. But I mean, it's fine, but I feel like that's just kind of what this is. Like, this song was just aggressively fine. I've enjoyed the album a lot so far. We're 11 songs in, got 3 more to go. The next one is called Carrollton. I think I've heard about that, but I don't think I've heard it. I appreciate and understand that when people make records, they tend to want to like kind of stay on the one path, to have like a through sound, right? Like a motif of the record. But I really am getting tired of hearing the hi-hat, kick, and snare sound here. I would like for the drums and the percussion to change a little bit. Meet Mr. Nice Guy. I don't know, like a C. Like, again, it's a C in the context of the album. Outside the album, I would probably give it a little higher. But I think because what I'm doing here is more than anything, I'm reacting and reviewing the album. I have to take the context into consideration. So, we're moving on to Carrollton with almost 200 million views. Okay. I like the chime sound.
You motherfuckers pitiful. I'm too sick of you. I'm a walking visual. You buzz refillable. Unforgivable. Once you cross me, ho. Now you a motherfucker stain a little cut though.
I mean,
savage tatted on my face, great. Place while we hot box, fuck a bash, fuck a cop. Even if they can't hop, watch me bust on any block. North side, naughty scope on the shot, send me blow your body. Tony gripping on the Tommy, bitch. Break the head off a bed like a Mozzie. You got a problem, motherfucker.
I mean,
come and try me. I'm nothing like what your punk boys wanna embody. North,
I don't.
East side, 5'9", Tony gripping Tommy.
I'll pause it in a minute and I'll pause it.
I be that walking zombie, bad sauce, eating bodies. 3 choppers in the shot, shooting everybody. Cigarette wet, bumping boosted badass.
So what I'm thinking so far are 2 things. 1, this sounds pretty decent. 2, I don't really understand why this is the most popular song of the album. Because it sounds very much like the rest of the album. There are some exceptions, obviously. It's definitely got a more of aggressive vibe to it. Like, Wartime all the time felt like they were getting shot at, whereas Carrollton sounds like they're the ones doing the shooting here, right? So it sounds a little bit more aggressive, which I guess is also the sound you're going for here. However, the other thing I was thinking is that I think one of the reasons this song might have become as popular as it is because it feels like the quintessential like Suicide Boys song so far, right? Like, it sounds like a microcosm of all the sounds they have. In psychology, or specifically in cognitive psychology, there's this concept called prototype theory. And prototype theory, essentially, really quickly, what it does is that, or what it states is that the way we perceive things in the world is not by figuring out what it is specifically what we're looking at by like saying, I'm looking at a webcam right now, right? I'm not saying, oh, this is a webcam because of its like rectangular shape, what seems to be a lens and light glowing at me. No, I know it's a webcam because I know other things that looks like a webcam and it fits into that category, right? It's the same thing with this mug, right? The reason you know this is a mug is, according to prototype theory, because you have a prototypical idea of a mug in your head, and then you decide like how much of a mug a mug is based on its mugginess, like how close to that prototype it is. So an example of this, if you want to try and just check it in real time, is I'll ask you a question in a moment, and you have to answer it immediately. No thinking, don't cheat here. Go into the comments and write 3 free animals. Just write them, post it. Don't say the context, because that would be really funny to anyone who hasn't made it this far into the video. And in the end of this video, I will explain why that's an exercise. Okay. With that said, let's get back into Carrollton and the prototype of a Suicide Boy song. There's a video essay in the middle of a fucking album review. What am I doing? Yeah. Smoke leaking from the sticky that we smoking, boy. Fuck a backwoods, which is what I use, boy. Smoke what I choose, do what I wanna do. Motherfuck you and your punk friends too. Yeah, I mean, thinking I'm the chosen one, bitch, I'm a king. I can hear my dead homies sing. Now my eyes it's fine, but it's the same as everything else we've heard at this point, you know. It's kind of, it's starting to lose me a little bit, this album, we're gonna be real. Despite the fact that, like, I like the album, it's just, I don't see why it needs to be 14 songs long, unless something happens soon in this, or fuck the industry, or I no longer fear the race regarding my heel 4 does something new. Okay, I guess something new kind of happened there. So, this is something I've talked about a lot in music in general. Just listen to what they do here, and you probably will know already what I'm gonna say. They let the silence speak for itself, right? And when you do that, if you do that and you do it correctly, you're able to, like, give so much more punch to your stuff, which is what happened there. But then it just goes into the exact same thing again afterwards. I can definitely vibe with this, but it's just, I don't see why I would listen to this over Coma or Wartime All the Time or Nicotine Patches, if I'm being honest with you. Yeah, again, it's one of those, in the context of the album, that's nice, that's pleasant. But again, it's the same melody that's been playing throughout the entire thing.
You come off of your drunken stupor from Bourbon Street Saturday night, get up in time to go to Mass on Sunday morning, and you tell God you're sorry for your drunkenness.
Alright. We have a radio evangelist. Yeah, in the context of the album, that's like a C. I don't think Carrollton did much for the album. Alone, isolated, probably be a B+. Fuck the industry. Fuck him. Okay. The Static is back. I'm the black sheep of this music industry shit. Okay. That's a little different. So when I say this is a little different, don't get me wrong, it's still the same drum and bass combination. But listen to the melody. I'll start it over from the start. Listen to the melody. They're like little droplets, right? I'm the black sheep of this music industry shit. Like, that sounds like it's like some alien shit. That's cool. Again, I wish they'd change the drums a little bit at this point, but that's kind of cool. Oh, and we have the emergence. There's some synth movement going on underneath that. Listen to that. Very low down underneath, but it's there. Okay. More stuff is emerging.
I'm the fucking wave, yo, just stuck in a bed, in a room, on a cruise, throwing up, cause you seasick. While your bitch is cheating on you, I'm the one who beat it. I'm just saying, y'all think that I'm playing, but I ain't got a reason to. 98 Benz cool, looking like Pikachu. 99 Benz cool.
I like the sound effects of this one. Yeah, there's a lot more stuff going on here. Same thing if you go back to this in the end of what I'm assuming is the chorus. Listen to the melody in the left ear. There. Dun, dun, dun. We have like a piano descending line. There again. Or like a xylophone or something. Probably not a piano. Yeah.
We're just gonna wait here for a little while until things quiet down, if you don't mind.
Was that from a megaphone?
Find myself speaking in ghosts a bit more often now. Devils die too, Lucifer bound for the ground. Get some money, watch a man and ask him reaching out. Lit up my cigarette, another accident. Fuck
we have Alien Melody again.
Thanks, I'm the same. Fuck anybody that want me to change. Don't want to change ever. That's why my Glock's on the dresser. If I'm keeping it real, I'm never ever lagging. Motherfuckers know sick, ain't never ever sagging. Whether shotguns on the 9mm, they be knowing scrimmage, keeping the heater. Nonetheless, got my people up my ass. Worried I'ma blow my brains on the glass.
But
Smoke a cigarette and laugh. Kettles calling pots black. And sometimes I get violent. Silent.
So, okay.
Supposed to do. But cutthroat always the problem. That's why cutthroats with the sharp blade though. Got my fake go on Easter. Sancho said ball like the Lakers. DNS.
I'm trying to find a place to pause, but it just isn't giving it to me.
Suicide dead boss.
Okay, I'll just pause here. So, I think this song is nice, first of all. It's pleasant to listen to, all things considered. But I think one of the issues that I have with this album that I just discovered now is that this is their example of a quiet song, a more somber song. And it is, don't get me wrong, compared to Carrollton, this is like a breeze, right? But it doesn't change the texture of the sound, right? Like, I get fatigued listening to this entire album because the general timbre, that's like the texture, the feeling of the sound, doesn't really change much. It's the same feeling you get throughout the entire thing. And I think it would really elevate this album more if they like just mix it up like 20% more. Like instead of the same bass and drum, for instance, that I've like harped on about for a while now, instead of that, use something else. Use real drums in one of them, or use like a plugged bass. Just change it up a bit. And I know that might go outside of genre conventions for like trap rap, which I think is what this is. But genre conventions are meant to be broken. That's why you move things forward, right? Okay, it's almost a minute.
We're gathered here today to remember the lives of Ruby and Scrim, also known to many as the Suicide Boys.
I think it is an
What they gave to this world while they were here was unexplainable. You know, we're all here. Maybe today we can share some memories, walk around. My name's Ricky Cackney. Hey, I'm Ricky.
Before we get more into this, can I just point out how many times so far, at least on this album, this has happened where I've complained about something and then it's happened. Like I've complained about them not changing the timbre and the texture of the sound, and then this shit hits me.
What they gave to this world
What the hell,
while they
man?
were here was unexplainable. You know, we're all here. Maybe today we can share some memories, walk around. My name's Ricky Cackney. Hey, I'm Ricky. If you don't know me, you can come up to me. Don't feel uncomfortable.
Nice to meet you, Ricky.
I know I give off a standoffish vibe. I don't feel uncomfortable. Come up to me, we'll talk about the boys. We'll celebrate today. Today's about celebrating the lives of two legends. And before we start sharing stories, I would like everybody to bow their head for 10 seconds in remembrance.
So I can't No, smart. They said 10 seconds, and then there's 10 seconds left of the song. So, I can't figure out if I think it's funny, cool, or a little self-indulgent, maybe all three, to have their own funeral in their album. This is the last song, and I'm very excited about this, because this is almost 8 minutes long. It's called I No Longer Fear the Razor Guarding My Heel. Fuck the Industry is gonna get a solid B+. No, an A-. This is the last one. Let's see what it's got. Static. Scream. What sounds like lounge music. And a different snare. Would you look at that? Alright. Alright, boys. Let's take this home. Let's see what you got.
Reach into my pocket and I grab a couple crumbled tonnage. We look like some crumbled tonnage, blinded out the fuzzes on. And paranoia turn my stomach. H1 homo, rough and rugged. Desert camo, truck to the front and shirt. I'm about to seat adjusted. 100 miles per hour.
Wait a minute.
Just seem accustomed to life at the fast lane, nothing. And the motherfucking gas they dump it at you.
If this is a cult concept album, and I don't know if it is, and they're supposed to be dead, why are they rapping? Sorry. Ooh. What's that? Something cool happened, I think. Yeah, listen to the kick. All right, so the kick here sounds bad. I can't remember if it's something I said in this video or if it's something in the Life of Pablo reaction, but there was a song we listened to somewhat recently that has a similar effect on the kick, where it almost feels like they've I don't know, they've added a layer or they've peeled off a layer of the actual kick drum. I know this probably is, or this isn't, I'm assuming, a real kick drum, but where it sounds like it almost just, it stumbles, but it's really cool. Like that kick drum almost feels like it's stumbling, right? You get what I mean?
Fuck the seagull, fuck the spot. Easily execution on my side. Homicide, what we used to all the time. We in the bins, off the benzos, out the pressure, clinical. You hear me? We in the bins, off the benzos, out the pressure, clinical. Back for mine, motherfucker.
Yeah, I mean, it's cool, but also we are through an entire Suicide Boy song's length at this point, and like, so far not much has happened outside of what you'd expect, outside of maybe the lounge music. And it fucking happened again. Okay, so we have two guitars. We have a someone playing arpeggios, two chords, and then a lead. Playing guitar and over. That's nice. Ooh. I'm not sure those are real guitars, but still. Nice. Okay. I'm actually getting chills almost. Wow. So when I said that I wanted it to change and I wanted some texture changes in the sound, this is 100% what I had in mind. Because you don't need to have that bombastic sound all the time to get the sound that uicideBoy is going for. You can do it with a guitar. That's... Fuck yeah, man. Alright, I'm invested. Okay. Is this just a new song? That transition's weird. I don't know if it's weird good or weird bad yet. But we'll figure it out. We have a horn that sounds really flat in my left ear. I mean, every day of every month. Bloody nice turn bloody. Okay. Death could be right in front of ya. Still wouldn't recognize her. I mean, I'm definitely still intrigued, but now I'm definitely yeah, like I feel like this just feels like a different song, right? And like that can be good, but I'll pause here. Okay, so I feel like this just feels like we're in a different song now, and that can be good. That can be really cool. If you want a good example of that, listen to Holy Wars: A Punishment 2 by Metalhead. I think they do it splendidly. But I think in this case, it's actually not serving the song super well, just because it feels like we're in a different song and there's no connection to the previous thing. Like, obviously, we still have like literally 3 minutes left, so they might tie it back in. But right now, it just feels like we've heard like a song, a bridge, and a new song now. And I don't know, I feel like there's missing some connective tissue between them, if that makes any sense. Like if that guitar had continued into this and they had integrated it here, then it would have felt like they were like kind of creating one big song rather than just 2 segments. And in that case, like the guitar music, what, elevator music in this case? It's taking you in between levels. And that horn is starting to get a little grating, I'm gonna be real.
In New Orleans, there were many bizarre things I always saw growing up here.
Okay, before we go into that, so I just to expand a little bit upon my previous point, right? I don't think it's an issue whatsoever when songs feel like they have more than one song in them. As a matter of fact, that's something I really like in progressive metal and prog music in general. It's cool when that's the case. However, when you're making a song almost 8 minutes long, you better damn make sure that those aren't 8 minutes that I'm wasting, you know? Long music doesn't necessarily mean good music. And this is cool. I enjoy this song specifically because it sticks out to the rest of the album. But so far, the only way it's really stuck out has been the fact that it's had like a guitar intermission between what feels like 2 completely separate songs. And now it feels like we're gonna go into another like intermission, and then we may go for a 3rd song. But let's see.
New Orleans, there were many bizarre things I always saw growing up here, especially in the graveyards. And as a child, I spent a lot of time in the graveyards. As an adult, I still spent a lot of time in the graveyards. But as a child, it was a regular weekend thing to do. I always needed to know why. Sometimes my whys got me in trouble.
Okay. It's a cool outro thing. Yeah. Okay. No.
You gonna keep going?
No, that's it. Suicide, I fucking screaming from the rooftop. The only thing I ever did was mentioning ever since Slick burned me in city of Lil Wayne. That shit probably still in my boombox. But nowadays
Wait, didn't we have this melody earlier in the album as well?
select myself on the fucking jukebox. If I wanted to, cop a black Countach, drop that shit like 2 blocks in the smash in the back of a new cop car. Now I think I'm on it too.
Yeah, just get a bunch of face tats. It's gonna be cool.
And then we have a bunch of like. I mean, I think I get what they're going for here, right? It's like they're portraying like the somewhat their upbringing here, right? And that's cool. But you've just made 3 different songs and smashed them into one. That's not how, at least I think, you're supposed to do this. Jesus. Man, I no longer fear the razor guarding my heel. You had so much potential. I still, yeah. I'll talk more about it in a moment when it's done. Okay, I'm gonna be real. That was a bit of a letdown of an ending to the album. It's fine. Oh, there we go. It's fine, but I would have wished that like when they seemed like they've been taking the risk of making one long song. I would have wished that they had actually made one long song, but that's not what that is. That's 3 small songs that they've smashed together into one long song and then called it like an outro. And like, that's fine, I guess. It's just, it doesn't have the same appeal to me as making one really well-crafted song where everything sticks together. Another really good example of that is Panic Attack by, I was about to say Judas Priest, Dream Theater. Great song. It is around 8 minutes long. It doesn't feel like it because it just builds and takes you on a ride. Whereas this more feels like they thought it would be cool to make one long song and then just smashed 3 long songs together. Which I don't know. I think that kind of deducts some points in my book. So I'm probably gonna give that like a solid, like, I don't know, honestly C-. I don't think that was all that great. The album in general, however, I think has been good. This has been an enjoyable album to listen to, albeit I think it gets a little tiresome, and I think they could really like gain a lot by incorporating different sounds in their music and not just have it be this drum bass led sound that always seems to be going back into the same like field, right? With that said, I think I'll probably give this album like a B+. Like, it's definitely not bad. It's not bad in any way. Well, I mean, it's bad in the way that it gets boring and tiresome, but it's not a bad album. It's just it feels bloated, and it feels like it didn't need to be as long as it was, despite being a fairly short album. With that said, I promised to explain to you what the animals were about. So the reason that I asked you to name 3 animals is because this is a test that one of my professors did with us when we were learning about prototype theory. In case you don't know, I'm currently finishing my bachelor's degree in psychology, and I'm going to be doing a master's degree in neuroscience and neuropsychology in September. Starting then, right? And the reason that you're asked to name these 3 animals is because when you think of an animal, more than likely you'll think of animals that like are associated to your area. So I'm from Denmark, right? So when I did this task back in the day, I think I wrote cat, dog, and cow down, something along those lines. And that's because those are the animals I'm most likely to see in my everyday, right? But if you're from, say, Madagascar, you might still say cat and dog, but you might also add lemur to it, which I probably wouldn't do unless I know what the point of being asked to do it is. So that's what's just a point of that. With that said, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you liked it. If you did, please make sure to leave a like and a comment about all the animals. Subscribe to the channel, and hey, give me some more suggestions, because honestly, doing these long form videos is actually kind of fun, albeit it takes a bit longer to do. So yeah, that's it. I hope you have a very, very good day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.